Welcome to Book to Blueprint, where powerful books become practical blueprints for real life. You do not need more information, you need execution. This is Book to Blueprint. All right, let's jump right in. Look, this isn't going to be just another book summary. What we're doing here is building an actual actionable blueprint based on Celeste Headlee's fantastic book, We Need to Talk. Think of this as your personal cheat sheet for execution, something you can use to upgrade your conversations like today. So here's how we're going to break it all down. Our blueprint has 6 key parts. We'll kick things off by getting crystal clear on your desired outcome. Then we'll get into the big idea behind it all. After that, we'll install the operating system, the core rules, and map out a step-by-step plan to get you started. We'll also cover the key habits you need to build, and finally, the common mistakes to watch out for. By the end of this, you'll have everything you need. All right, first things first, why are we even doing this? Before we get into all the how-tos, let's really nail down the results you're after. What's the actual tangible goal here? What's in it for you? Let me just start by asking you a kind of tough question. Just think about it for a second. How many opportunities might have slipped through your fingers because of one bad conversation? Maybe it was a job interview that went sideways, or a relationship that could have been saved if you just found the right words. We've all been there, right? The cost of not communicating well it's huge. And that leads us right here to the real outcome, the prize. See, this isn't about learning how to win every argument or talk your way into anything. No, the real goal is to forge deeper connections, to build richer, way more meaningful relationships, and to genuinely, truly understand the people around you. That's what we're aiming for. So how do we get there? Well, it all starts with a pretty fundamental shift in how we even think about talking with other people. So let's dig into the big idea that powers this whole blueprint. Okay. This right here on the screen, this is a really crucial distinction. We often mix up communication with conversation. Communication, that's just transmitting information. It's a one-way street. But a real conversation, that's a totally different beast. It's a collaborative exchange where listening is actually way more important than talking. And this leads to a super powerful change in your mindset. Here it is. The goal of a good conversation isn't to sound smart or to be the most polished speaker. It's simply to walk into that exchange assuming you have something to learn from the other person. That one little shift, it changes absolutely everything. Now, once you've got that mindset, you need a set of rules, right? A framework to guide you. So think of these next 10 rules as the fundamental code, the operating system for having conversations that really, truly matter. Okay, here we go. The core of the system. Number 1, be present. And I mean really present. Put your phone away, out of sight. Number 2, don't pontificate. As Headlee says, if you just want to state your opinion with no room for discussion, you should just write a blog. Number 3, use open-ended questions. Start with who, what, when, where, why, or how. Easy. 4, go with the flow. You know when thoughts just pop into your head while someone's talking? You gotta let them go. Don't interrupt. 5, if you don't know something, just say it. It's okay. 6, don't equate your experience with theirs. This is a big one. If they're talking about a loss in their family, don't jump in with your own story. It's not the same, and the conversation isn't about you. 7, try not to repeat yourself. It just sounds, condescending. 8, stay out of the weeds. Seriously, nobody cares about the tiny names, dates, and details. Get to the point. 9, listen. This is probably the most important one of all. And finally, number 10, be brief. A good conversation, it's like a game of catch, not a monologue. Okay, having an operating system is fantastic, but it's pretty useless if you don't actually run it, right? So now, let's build a really simple step-by-step plan to put all these rules into practice in the real world. Now, the most important thing here is to not get overwhelmed. Please do not try to master all 10 rules at once. You'll just fail. The plan is much simpler. First, you're going to pick just one skill. Just one. Second, you're going to practice it intentionally. And third, once you feel a little more comfortable, you're going to ask someone you trust for some honest feedback. Let's make this super concrete. Let's say you pick the skill of listening. Great choice. The action is clear. For your next conversation, your only job is to not interrupt and to stop planning your reply while they're still talking. Simple. When do you do it? Today, in your very next conversation. And how do you know if you're succeeding? You literally count how many times you interrupt. The goal is 0. See? It's simple, it's measurable, and you can start right now. Okay, so to make this blueprint a real permanent part of your life, you've got to build some specific recurring habits. Let's focus on one of the most powerful habits you can possibly develop. This habit is all about using what are called support responses. A sociologist named Charles Derber found that this is the absolute key to avoiding what he calls conversational narcissism. A support response does one simple thing. It shows the other person you're listening, and it encourages them to keep telling their story. This slide shows the difference perfectly. On the left, you've got the shift response. This is what most of us do. Your coworker says, "I'm so busy," and you immediately reply, "Me too, I'm totally swamped." You've just shifted the focus back to you. Now look at the right. The support response keeps the spotlight on them. They say, "I'm so busy," and you ask, "Oh really? Why? What's on your plate?" That one tiny change makes a massive difference. And finally, every good blueprint needs to account for what can go wrong. So let's talk about the common mistakes, the traps that will absolutely sabotage your efforts to have better conversations. So, the number one mistake, the one that's basically the root of all evil in conversations, is what Derber called conversational narcissism. It's that unconscious pull to insert yourself, to do most of the talking, and to constantly pivot the focus of the exchange back to you. This is the engine that drives interrupting, one-upping, and all those other bad habits. And if you think this is all just soft skills stuff, think again. The stakes are massive. According to one study, the annual cost of employee misunderstanding in just the US and the UK is a staggering $37 billion. That's billion with a B. That is the real world price of not listening to each other. So here are the big errors to watch out for. Number one, multitasking. You think you can do it, but you can't. You're just doing two things poorly. Two, repeating yourself. It doesn't make your point stronger, it just encourages people to tune you out. 3, getting lost in the weeds. Forget the exact names and dates. Nobody cares about those tiny details. They kill the focus. And finally, the most common one of all, just waiting for your turn to talk instead of actually truly listening to what the other person is saying. Now you might be thinking, well, this is all great, but what if the other person is just a terrible conversationalist? And that's a fair question. This quote from Celeste Headlee is the perfect answer. You can't control what they do. You can only control your half of the exchange. But if you focus on that, you'd be amazed at how often that's more than enough to change the entire conversation. Look, this isn't just some abstract theory. You can apply everything in this blueprint the second this is over. Your very next conversation, whether it's with your partner, your boss, or the person at the coffee shop, is a chance to practice, a chance to connect, a chance to maybe change everything. So the only question left is, are you ready to finally listen? If you have a book in mind that should be added to our list, comment below. If this blueprint helped you, subscribe, like, and build with us. More blueprints are coming. Stay intentional, stay consistent. We are doing this one book at a time. And remember, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So share this with them and grow together. Real progress becomes stronger when it is shared. Build your life, one blueprint at a time. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you do.